I'm Clemency Burton-Hill. Some breaking news this morning. The AP is reporting that at least 20 foreigners have escaped from that natural gas plant deep in the Sahara Desert, where Islamist militants have been holding dozens of hostages. We're also receiving reports from the AP that certain hostages have been killed. We're going to go now to our WSJ Paris Bureau Chief, Gráinne McCarthy, who can hopefully tell us more. Good morning, Gráinne. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi.
Good afternoon, I should say, in Paris. So tell us what we actually know about this hostage situation in Algeria.
Well, as you mentioned, there are reports coming out now that there may have been some hostages killed, and also that some hostages, including some foreigners, we've heard several Americans, may have escaped. But the details are all quite fluid. There are varying different reports coming out of Algeria. There's a report on the Mauritanian news service that is also saying that some hostages have been killed. So it's unclear where all of this is coming from. The situation, as we heard today from some of the companies involved, BP plc is the lead operator at this natural gas field in Algeria, said that the site was still occupied by armed personnel and that the situation was indeed very fluid.
Do we know more about the profile of the hostages, where they're from, how many there are, how many nationalities are involved?
What we think is that there are at least around 40 foreign hostages being held at this site. There are also an unknown number, really, of local workers who work for subcontractors for these energy companies. There's a French catering company there that apparently has something like 150 local workers. Now, our understanding is that they are not being allowed to leave the site, but they are not being kept in the same conditions as the foreigners who are being kept hostage. So the latest situation, there could be some sort of a major event underway at the site right now. That some of these reports are talking about an attempt to liberate the hostages by the Algerian army. It's unclear. It's just unclear if that has actually massively backfired, possibly.
Gráinne, well, just give us, if you can, some of the context. Where has this come from? What's the background to what's happened?
Yeah, and just to touch on what you asked about the nationalities, there are a large number of foreign nationals at this site, including French nationals, Americans, British citizens, Norwegians, Japanese, Austrian, Irish. So there's an awful lot of nationalities involved, and there are several different energy companies involved. But what we know about the apparent hostage takers is that they have claimed to have been seeking retaliation for France's military intervention in Mali. France sent combat troops to Mali last Friday and is in the midst of a major military intervention, fighting alongside the Malian army to try to push back an al-Qaeda-inspired insurgency that has been taking over large parts of this very vast West African nation. Algeria is a neighbouring country to Mali, although the site of this kidnapping is thousands of miles away from the Malian border. It is actually closer to the border with Libya. And so clearly the hostage takers claim to be al-Qaeda-inspired militants. We believe that one of perhaps the leader on the ground is a significant commander, but perhaps has actually part of another faction within al-Qaeda that has broken away from the actual faction that the French are fighting in Mali. But it all appears to be connected.